So I think there's a lot in that area, and then of course you have all of the Golden Dome stuff,
Yeah.
right? That's out
Right.
there, and that's to me like this is all the stuff that we know of.
Yeah.
From as the representative from Colorado Springs, I tell folks like there's three big pieces that we know are coming to Colorado Springs.
Hmm.
This new PAE,
Yeah.
and that's a big deal for us. The space operations facility that will be out at Schriever,
Right.
the one of four,
And
and
that's
then
the $250 million.
200
Yeah.
$250 million, but that's like 2,500 civilian jobs, and then a total of like 5,700. That's going to be a big facility.
Yeah.
And then we've got a bunch of second lieutenants coming in because just the growth of the Air Force right now, we have about 600 second lieutenants. Second lieutenants spend their first year in the Space Force at Peterson, and
Hmm.
it's that number 600 right now. Well, 2 years from now, it's going to be 1,800 a
Yeah.
year.
Right.
So just that growth is kind of tremendous. So that's all the stuff we kind of know that's
Hmm.
coming. What we don't know, in my view, is a lot of the uh, Golden Dome stuff, right?
Yeah. Hmm.
Like there's going to be a few communities. I mean, Golden Dome will benefit a lot of communities, but I think more so Huntsville, Colorado Springs, Miami, some of the Launch Coast areas and things. But that's where the real investment's going to come in too. And I think there's so much of that I think will make a big difference here economically in Colorado Springs as well.
Right. Right. Have you seen any of that yet? Or I mean, Golden Dome, we're still waiting on a lot of I guess, the space-based interceptor and other
Yeah,
work. But have you seen any letting of contracts yet in terms of impact on Colorado Springs yet? Or
yeah.
um,
Well, in Colorado, there has been. I've gotten the classified briefing on the architecture a couple of
yeah.
times and
Right.
that sort of thing. But I know that what's the company? Oh, they're a launch kind of a rocket company up in Denver, a True Anomaly.
Oh yeah. True
True
anomaly.
Anomaly.
Yeah.
They've gotten some contracts that have been let.
Right.
They're
Right.
actually looking at expand. They're in Denver, but they're actually looking at expanding. Colorado Springs is one of the sites that they're kind of looking at maybe
Mhm.
expanding as well. So, I mean, there is some of that.
Yeah.
The contracts that have been let, we were a little frustrated. I'm one of the co-chairs of the Golden Dome Caucus, and we want to be helpful and we want this to succeed on the timeline that the president laid out. So for us, it seemed like it took a long time to get going, but I always have to remind myself that one, General Guetlein's the guy I'd have in charge if I could
Hmm.
choose anyone in America or the
Yeah.
world to do it.
Yeah.
Number one, and two, this is complicated stuff,
Yeah,
and
well,
so
right,
you
and
know,
that's the big thing here, and General Guetlein, and this is complicated, the SBI effort. But do you having heard about the architecture, et cetera, from what you gather, is it are there things on track, or what? There are obvious concerns, but what are your concerns, or you think in terms of the major challenges ahead for Golden Dome? And are there any ideas you have in terms of how you'd like to see things proceed
sure.
on the
Well,
architecture?
yeah. Well, obviously, um, I wish we were further along on not only the architecture, but like just moving it forward. But I think
Mhm.
everybody, including probably the president, wishes that, right? But again, it's a very complicated architecture, and General Gutlein's done a great job on it. The space-based sensor work, I think, is obviously critical to it. I think they're doing a good job, but everything that I've seen, and everyone I asked from General Gutlein down, um, nobody's told me that they don't think this is technically possible to do, and that the
Mhm.
architecture is a good one,
Yeah.
right? I
Right.
don't, I can't get too much into it, but
Yeah.
obviously a
Yeah.
multi-layered approach and
Right.
things like that. So, um,
Right.
it's
And it
what's
does
that?
have, as you were saying, the multi-layer, so it's not just the SBI effort, obviously, and then
Yeah,
there's going to be a lot of interface and between other commands, et cetera, to make the whole air and space defense work. But would you say there's anything you can, how do you, in terms of, again, you wished it was farther along. Is there anything that maybe with hindsight could have been done to sort of move it along more rapidly, or was it just by its nature?
Yeah,
Is there,
I would say it's probably just by its nature, it's tough. I certainly don't want to be critical of. I mean, here's what I think. I do think that the administration um, gave the General Guetlein the authority and the reporting lines to get the job done. Like
hmm
they haven't built a bunch of bureaucracy in between him and the president or the
hmm
Secretary of War to get this done.
Yeah.
They have, I think they've done a good job of giving him the best opportunity to succeed. It's a challenging, difficult, technical thing to do. Probably, honestly, one of the most technical and challenging things America's ever done.